Hello everybody, Rabbi Mordechai Zeller here, and I'm here to tell you about my upcoming course starting in a couple of weeks called From Chaos to Seder through AJS, Applied Jewish Spirituality. This is going to be a very special course. Seder doesn't just mean order or balance. Seder is what we do as we gather together, our families around the table, to celebrate our great-great-great-great-grandparents, our ancestors' freedom, the story of them leaving Egypt. And it culminates with them coming to the vast ocean of the Red Sea and the sea splitting as they cross through. This and many other images are images that we will explore together. What is Seder? Everybody keeps a Seder. We sit together with our parents and our children, our grandparents, sometimes 4, maybe even 5 generations around the table. And sometimes people will sit just themselves. And there's a tradition that the questions, the ma nishtana, that the youngest child asks, even if you're sitting all alone, you are the one asking those questions. We ask ourselves, we ask questions that just stay in the air, because the most important part of being freedom is learning how to ask sometimes the most difficult questions. In my family history, my grandparents weren't religious, but they were Jungians. They were Jungian psychologists, and they helped found the Jungian Center in Los Angeles. And my father grew up in a home that they would gather together and they would keep Passover. They would keep a Seder, but instead of sitting and doing the religious ceremony, eating the matzah and all that, all these old Jungians would gather together and they would speak about the meaning of being free and the enslavement of the ego. And how can we free the self with the big S, the neshama, the soul, from its shackles? So my father grew up speaking about Passover and having a Seder, but a Seder, a psychoanalytic Seder. And later when he became what we call Baal Tshuva, when he became religious, he discovered that the mystical tradition, the Kabbalistic tradition, the Hasidic tradition is filled with the same images, saying we're not just sitting celebrating something that happened many years ago. We are celebrating something that's happening right now, something that we need as the spring is in the air, as flowers are blossoming around us. We too are moving from slavery to freedom. And every year we must ask ourselves, what is our chametz? What is our unleavened bread? What are we cleaning our homes for? What are we cleaning our hearts for? What does it mean to be enslaved to my ego, to my needs, to my urges? And what are the things that can enable me for one moment to let go and to be free? And these are questions that here we are, even though my father is a Baal Tshuva, was a Baal Tshuva, but my grandfather kept the Seder, and his father kept the Seder, and his father kept the Seder. This is one of the only things that I have a tradition in my family. And my father, as he would eat the marol, the bitter herb, he would sit there and tears would roll down his eyes. And he would say that he remembers watching his father cry as he ate this. And now I sit around the table and my children see me weeping as I eat the bitter herb, and as we celebrate our pain, our difficulty, and also our freedom. We will learn all these things and we will sit together like a Seder and learn about the different parts. What does it mean to clean our homes? What does it mean the story of Exodus? What does it mean burning our chametz? What does it mean asking the right questions? What does it mean telling the right stories? Who is Elijah the prophet and Miriam the prophet who will guide us through this ceremony, this intergenerational freedom which is happening around us? And is there a better time or more important time to speak about freedom, as the Jewish people have gone through one of the most difficult 2 years? And when so many of our brothers and sisters are still enslaved and slowly coming out of the darkness, coming out of the shackles, as the spring is coming, so too the sea will split and we will leave the belly of the whale and the darkness in order to again see light. And I'm hoping that if you join me for this course, when you do sit and keep your Seder, everything will have a bit of a deeper meaning. Not just from the Hasidic and Kabbalistic tradition, but from the psychoanalytic tradition as well. Join me for this course. Let's learn together. Let's practice together. Let's get a little taste of of freedom. I hope to see you all, starting at the end of February, 6 sessions. Join us from chaos to Seder.